you can see the fracture from here all the way to here. And as far as the friction of the arrow on the shaft, there isn't any. You know, after that first test, I'm feeling pretty lucky. So what I did is taken the leg bone, lower leg bone called the humerus, that's just below the shoulder blade to scapula, and I'm going to hit it right about, hopefully here, and this is the thickest, hardest, densest bone in the upper shoulder, and it could very easily be hit accidentally on a chest shot. If that leg comes back, the scapula or the humerus will get in the way of the shot. So let's see what happens when a 738 grain arrow with a single bevel broadhead hits this very hard, dense bone. This is impressive. Look what it's done to that. It's broken the thickest, hardest part of that humerus right in half. Just simply split it. Wow. I've been doing this a while, and I got to admit, even I'm impressed. I had to actually put the target up this way because the arrows were shooting right through it's about 10 inches, I guess, of target, so we had to set them up this way to stop it because they were hitting the bag and tearing my bag target way up. But you can see the penetration after hitting that bone. It's impressive. Well, that tells us a lot right there, doesn't it? I've got to admit, this is impressive. I don't know if you can see that fracture right here. There's the entrance hole, and you can see the obvious friction on the shaft. There's not very much. It did break the knockoff. It hit so hard, but you can see the fracture point. This is incredible. Well, there appears to be no damage to the back of the arrow. You can see what kind of penetration we've got. Probably 2/3 to half of the arrow is in the bone. And let's take a look at the broadhead and what happened to the bone. So here we have it, and you can see what the broadhead did, and there's no damage to the broadhead whatsoever, no chips, no bends. We'll boil this out. I think you can see later on the fracture line that went up here, but there you have it. This is another interesting feature of the tapered carbon shaft, is that the widest part of the shaft is directly behind the broadhead. So as the shaft goes through the hole in the bone, it gets smaller and smaller. There's less shaft drag on it. And just watch this. Thought that would be, that's kind of an interesting feature. Here's our moose scapula. I've got it aimed. It's going to hit right about here. It's going to be on an uneven surface, and we'll see what happens when the arrow hits right here. Well, there you have it. Cracked it all the way up to the top, and the penetration is significant. This next shot will be on the leg bone of the same moose. This is the lower leg bone, the humerus, just below the shoulder blade. Also a thickly massive bone. We're going to try to hit it right about here. Same arrow, same broadhead, and see what happens when it hits this massive part of the bone. This has got to be the thickest part of the forward leg. Well, here's what 938 grains with an Ashby head can do to a bone. No damage to the arrow, unless you consider popping the knockoff damage. I don't know if you can see the fracture runs all the way up to the end here. Now some minor chips to the blade. You can't even see them. No damage to the shaft, and that's again a 23% FOC, 938 grains out of a 70-pound bow. Pretty impressive.